Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we'll be doing this setup for a baby shower. We are doing shades of pink requested by the client. So we have a couple double stuffed colors. We have pink double stuffed inside white. We have regular pink, and then we have fuchsia double stuffed inside pink. And these are all by Tech. So let's get started, guys. So for this setup, I'm going to start by adding the clusters onto the frame. I am making sure I pull the balloons close and tight and then tying them on. And I'm starting when I wanted to do like a ombre effect with the shades of pink. I thought it was only right to do that with the colors. So I'm adding the darkest color on first before I start adding on that single stuff color. And I also want it to be like a lot, as I was thinking, like the top color starts to get small. So I wanted to do like a lot of the dark color, then a little bit of the regular pink, and then the top color a little shorter. But I don't think I end up doing it like that. I don't think so. But it's still, I think I just probably did like 2 clusters for the lighter pink or something like that. And then what I was about to say, I forgot what I was about to say. Yeah, I think I forgot. Sorry. That's what I was about to say. For the darker color, the fuchsia, unfortunately, I didn't have any 18-inch balloons. Before Tech, they don't have fuchsia in 18 inches. They only have fuchsia in 5, 11, and then 24 inch. So I did have a 24 inch that I end up using for the darker color, which I would have liked a dark color because I really didn't need any large balloons for the light pink. I would have really needed the large balloons for the fuchsia, but it still ended up working out. And sorry, I skipped some steps here. I had to do a reel. One day I'll be able to get all these snaps and all these steps in one video for you guys. Right now, we are on struggle mode, so I have to use the camera, the phone in like 2 different directions when I do a YouTube or reel. So that's why I sometimes have to stop, do a reel, and then I come back to you guys and start recording for YouTube again. And I'm attaching these clusters. So now I'm thickening out the frame. I wanted to come out on the side to thicken it out. And you see I'm tying on those 2 clusters. What I forgot at this very step is, you see that cluster on top, it wasn't tied. You see it was like a gap there. That because I didn't tie that cluster. Don't forget to tie those clusters. I will go back later and end up tying it together. But don't forget to make sure you tie both clusters. If you're doing 2 clusters at a time, both of them need to be attached somewhere, or it will create a gap on the design. And now I'm just adding on more balloons. And when I'm adding them on and I'm tying all the clusters that needs to be tied together, I'm going to push it a little bit to the back because I don't want them sitting right next to the balloons on the left side. I just want them to peek out just a little bit and not be actually sitting on the side of it. So I'm going to be pushing them back and they just going to be peeking out from the side just a little bit is what I will be doing. And you see right here, now I'm going back to tie that cluster that I forgot to tie directly to the cluster that's on the frame already. Because if you forget, it will leave a gap and you don't know why it's loose. And most of the time it's because it's not tied. Or if you have a 260, you may just want to add your 260. And now I'm just taking that 24-inch balloon and I'm placing it right in the front just to give it some more depth. The Garland was just a lot of 11 inches down at the bottom. As I mentioned, I didn't have any of those 18-inch balloons for the dark pink. So I had to add that 24-inch just to give it some more different shapes and dimensions and things like that. And I'm trying to create like a point at the end of the balloon. So I wanted to come out and kind of flare out on the sides. And I wanted to make like a little point at the end. And here we go. I have like that pink mini cluster. the pink mini garland, the 5-inch garland, and I'm going to now tie that in. And when you add your mini garlands in, you want to make sure you're pushing it in. And me, I'm tying it at different points. So I tied it at the top, I'm tying it in the middle. And you really want to push it in. You don't want to just sit it on top. And now we're just going in. We have Noelle again helping today. She's been shadowing me, doing really good, and I've been appreciating all the help that I can get. And she's just going in, adding on those 5 inches while I am still adding on some clusters. And I'm just trying to fill this out a little bit more at the bottom. And I'm making sure I'm tying that cluster to all points. So I tied it to the one right next to it on the right side. And I also tied the cluster directly to the cluster that's on the frame as well. Because if not, it would have been a little loose and flapping around. And that's not what we want. We want it to be nice and tight. And now I'm tying that other cluster directly to the one that's in the front that I just tied. And I'm going to attach it to the one on the frame as well. And I'm just going to tuck it behind just a little bit so it's peeking through. I'm not trying to bring the whole cluster and sit it on top. I'm just trying to have it peek through just a little bit. And here I go with another 5-inch mini garland. And I'm looking for a point where I can just add that in. And like I said, I like to tie the 5-inch mini garlands in many different places, not just at the top and at the bottom. Sometimes I pull the neck out in the middle of it and tie it somewhere. That way it's pulling from different angles and it's really giving it a nice shape and it's not just sitting on top. And that 5-inch cluster that I just added on, I use a 260. Sometimes if I don't feel like tying, I'll take a half 260 and I don't even tie it. I literally tie it with, I tie it to the cluster, but when I add it on the actual garland, I'll just wrap it around a balloon and then wrap it back into the cluster and it stays. It does not move. Make sure all the 260s are in the back. And this is the final look, you guys. This is how everything turned out. Absolutely gorgeous. And it didn't take that long. I want to say it was like an hour and a half, if I'm not mistaken. Not long at all. And we ended up moving those marquee letters a little bit closer. When they came, they put them off to the left side. So just to bring them with the design, we end up moving them for the client so they can be right next to the backdrop. So here's the final look. Thank you guys for watching. Please come back and for the next video. I post every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget to subscribe, to like. It helps a lot. I feel like I never mention this. I always forget. But please don't forget to subscribe and like the video. See you on the next one, guys.